Alright, I'd like to explain significant figures. The reason we have significant figures is because our numbers do not represent just a value of how many. It's actually a representation of what was measured. So if you look, for example, this 5, it could be 5.3 rounded down, or it could be 4.5 rounded up. There's a large margin there for any kind of error or inaccuracy. Here, with 5.0, this could be 5.04 rounded down. So there's very little area for rounding or for inaccuracy. And then if we even go further to the 5.00, it would have to be a 5.004. So we get more and more precise with our actions in terms of measuring or drawing a line. So it's very important how many digits that we have. In order to help guide us to determining how many digits, we have 3 rules. The first one is that all numbers are significant. The second one is that any zeros between numbers are considered significant. And then the zeros on the right side of numbers, if there's a decimal place somewhere in the number, those zeros will be significant as well. So just as some examples, here's an example of rule number 1. All numbers are significant, so it has 3 significant figures. Here's an example of rule number 2. There's a 0 between the 2 numbers, so we do have 3 significant figures. But it's starting here where we do get into some gray area. We have a 3, so that's significant, but are the zeros significant? Well, the zeros are on the right side of the 3, but there's no decimal point present. So what this is showing us is the 3 was measured, but the zeros weren't. For example, if you were to count $100 bills in your pocket, maybe you have 3, but you didn't look at any 10s or 20s or 5s or 1s. So this would not be a very accurate number of how much money you have in your pocket. If you look at the next example, it does have a decimal point right at the end. So since the decimal point is present now, this tells us that those zeros are significant. So what this would say is, I counted the $100 bills, and then I counted 10s and 20s, there were none, and I counted 5s and 1s, there were none. So in this instance, if I said I have $300 in my pocket, it would be a very accurate representation of the real measurement. Here, these zeros tend to give people a little bit of a problem. It's just a placeholder. It is not on the right side of the 3. So only the 3 and the 0 would be considered significant. Same thing over here. The 3 and everything that comes after it are significant, so we have 4 significant figures. Another way to remember it is zeros on the left side of the 3 never count.